we're back to another episode of The Talk, a drag race. You know what it is. It's a drag race recap show, baby. You know, sometimes you get a little stuck up on your words, but we still make the ball roll. Welcome back to this week's episode, where we are getting to our final four and going to see what top three looks like. First of all, Kevin, I fucking miss you. How have you been?
Bitch, I miss you. I just been like going through it a bit, like just putting my main focus on school, so then in the summer we could just be cackling in boxers, like getting fingered by some random guy in the bathroom. So right now focus is like blackboard canvas, like typing. Like that's my go-to. I'm
gonna hold you to it because you've been MIA the last few weeks and we've been hitting the streets.
But you haven't checked on me.
Girl, don't do all that. I've been hitting you up. You the one who got
actually let's read, because actually
a different storyline every different message, bitch. I hit you up.
So let's see who's the last one to text. Let's see who's the last one to text, right? Oh, me. That's okay though.
What it say?
Anyways, so
exactly. Look at you, like just like Lucy. Lucy be lying.
I'm the white queen of the season. It's okay. I'll take it. Let loose. I said let loose. That shit is on. Let Loose has been in my mind lately. I feel like it's everywhere. It's on TikTok, it's on Instagram. Like, though Lucy like is off so far, like the season, her Let Loose, they just came out with the Lemon and Jan remix of it today of Let Loose. Like that shit is everywhere. Like
made no noise in my phone. I'm more of a Rounds and Rounds by Luxx, Noir, London kind of girl, because that song is
Round and Round in the bottom with Lucy though, but.
But who's still in the top four, which brings us into this week's episode. We walk in and we're going to get into our new segment, Mirror Mirror, where we walk into the workroom. We see Luxx read the message and pretty much, what's her face? Lucy's pretty much pressed. She leaves her message and lets the girls know how she feels about it. She feels like she didn't deserve to go home. Pretty much what do you think? You think she deserved to go home last week?
I think it was her time. I feel like there's no one else I really see in the top four besides the four queens that we have here. I feel like Lucy, it's not like she had a really good run. She won 2 episodes. She won Snatch Game. Like it's not like she was like gut or boots. Like that bitch had a really good run. I just feel like when in comparison to the other 4 queens, she doesn't stack as high as the other queens. I feel like she is a perfect top 5. I feel like perfect top 5.
So you would say, for lack of better words, her drag is generic?
Oh, 100%. Like I literally feel like that is where Luxx got all of his RuPaul tea going down the line, Xing each bitch out like I was living. But I feel like Lucy was just, it wasn't as exciting. I feel like this top 4 is probably one of the strongest top 4 we've had in a while. And I just don't see Lucy being in the same caliber as the other queens.
I have to agree with you. I think the 4 queens that are left have something they bring to the table that makes you want to do drag. So with that, I want to know what we want to know pretty much. Who do you think, or how do you think that Lucy's downfall started? Like, where do you think is the moment where we kind of lost her, besides her singing live week 1?
I think it's the self-sabotage and her believing that she's always the victim. And that kind of ties in with like her being bullied. Like, I generally don't think that she was being bullied. I generally feel like I just generally feel like when she's antagonizing, like with the whole situation with Mistress about someone, she's like, oh, Mistress, look. Like, I feel like she was victimizing herself a lot. And I generally believe, like, you really can't blame it on the edit. And we'll talk about that later. Like, I feel like her edit is literally, like, as true as it be. I feel like she wrote her story. I feel like that's her story.
She did have that kind of storyline that she was cooking up where she wanted to be, like, this polished queen. But no matter the way we perceive it, I will have to say, touching to the base of Let Loose being everywhere and having a remix now with Lemon and Jan, I think she had an impact, you would say. Would you agree?
I feel like her impact is just, but I feel like it's like a meme impact. I feel like no one actually generally likes the song. It's just funny to come up to. Like, it's like we're laughing at her in a sense. Like, I generally don't like the song, but there'd be moments where I'm at work, like, let loose. Like, I feel like, I don't know, she's funny to laugh at. Like, I'm glad. Oh, honey, two sniffs, anything hits, baby.
Bitch, it's going to be loose for sure. Yeah, I will have to agree with you. Although it's not an impact that maybe, like, hit me at home and, like, I'm like, oh, my God, I relate to this. I can't deny her impact. I mean, her song is catching. Because I feel like if we say we laughing at her, that then makes it bullying. We're laughing with her.
No, I am bullying her. I am bullying her. I'll take that.
You said it, not me, but let's go with it. I don't know. I feel like her time was up, and we get into the workroom. They see the message, and it's kind of like spray, spray, wipe, wipe, and on to the
Clorox,
next.
Clorox, Windex, Windex, and let's go. Like,
No, so that brings us right into Rue coming right into the room, right into the room, and bringing it down. But before we even get into it, I want to hear pretty much what do you think? What's your top four? Because, bitch, for me, and before you even speak, I already had this feeling from week one. Had we done fantasy drag race this year, I was getting my money. I was getting my lick. I was getting what I
rent was
deserved.
paid. You paid rent.
Babe, for the next 3 months, because I had already that mentality of these bitches are bringing a different kind of drag. And
Different level.
although, as we all know, like right now, I'm in my drag era and I'm learning and I'm growing. So it's like to be able to see the different styles and be able to be like, oh, I like how she does this with her makeup. I like the way that she performs. I like the way that she brings fashion into it. And I'm not going to lie, I do want to say that I feel like Sasha has taught me, not that like this is the first time I've learned how to be humble, but the bitch taught me how to be humble because it's like sometimes when you take your essence of drag, you want to be as powerful and as cunty and as forward as you can be and can imagine because that's your life, that's your liberty to it. But the way that she's able to be so fucking regal, top fucking notch, and then still be such a sweetheart, like that's really what matters. Is like who the person is when that camera's rolling, when the camera's not rolling, and at the end of the day, bitch, when you're laying in that bed and you fucking have you and your nightlight, it's like you could sit there and be like, damn, I'm a real ass bitch, and I love Sasha. But
I like how humble she is. Like I touching on Sasha, and I wish I could touch on her because she looks smooth. I feel like it comes with the pageant system. I feel like her having that pageant background, the continental background, it kind of teaches you to be poised and to, because that bitch could have came in and like just been like that bitch and like be over the top but like she knows what she delivers and she gives it to you every time. I liked in her Meet the Queens when she was like, I'm your favorite drag queen's favorite drag queen, and it's true. She's my favorite because she has that humbleness, that humility. She doesn't need to be loud in the room for you to know that Sasha's there. So she was definitely in my top four. Definitely Mistress. I feel like she just brings like old school, like when that shit was on Logo and the bitches were calling each other ugly as fuck and acrylic toenails. Like that shit, like definitely Anetra. Anetra is my heart. Like that bitch can walk out in a fucking, like how you were defending Selena, that's my Anetra, but Anetra is actually talented. And then I definitely wanted, I won't, we're good because she's at home.
So
okay, well, I'm not Lucy, girl. I'm Anetra, as I was saying. And then I low-key wanted a kind of a gaggy factor. Like I do love Luxx and I like that East Orange Newark representation, and I know that you live for her. But like I was kind of like a wild card because now like since they're all so good, it's kind of like I want like a random ass bitch. Like I would have like Spice, like Spice would have been really like in there. So that's like there's no surprises for me for this top four. I feel like they all came in, they ate up, and they're good. Don't look at me like that.
What the fuck you mean spikes?
Like I just wanted some type of like.
You mean spice?
What'd I say?
But spice or spike?
I'm white, so I can't say spice. I said spikes.
Goodbye. I agree. I do think that they all have their own flavor, but how would you rank it? So you would say Sasha, Anetra, Luxx, Mistress?
So it's different. Like me, how I believe it's gonna play out is different from how I think it. Like I would like it. Like I would love for like Anetra to win. I feel like her amazing backstory. I feel like she performed. She was kind of like the underdog edit. But I feel like it's just like it's Sasha's season. I feel like all these wins. I just generally feel like even from the Meet the Queens, I'm like, okay, it's a Sasha Colby meet and greet. Like it really is.
But is it what you predicted?
Well, bitch, I'm a spoiler queen, so it's not what I predict. It's what the fucking Reddit people say.
Why would you do that? Why are you a whole that reads Reddit?
Like, bitch, I already know the finale. Like, I already know what's the tea.
Is she devil by night?
They devil by morning.
Okay. Well, regardless of the fact, fuck you. I think that my prediction was pretty much the same. I think that if week one we would have done the fantasy team, this was the top four. The only thing that probably would have switched around for me was Selena leaving when Lucy left and Lucy leaving when Selena left.
But
because at the end of the day, real recognizes real. And
did you see that video of Selena calling Ross Matthews F word?
That's a lie. Bitch, you can say faggot.
He's gonna bleep it. Like that's especially 3 months before Pride Month. I could never.
No, I take pride in it.
Faggot.
Take pride in it now. Like, this is when it matters, bitch, all year round. Not just when it's June 1st to the 30th.
As I was saying, faggot. So I just generally feel like how Selena feels about Ross Matthews is how I feel about Selena. And I'll take that.
No, but they dropped their beef, so I guess
Selena wants that ticket to All Stars. She's smart. That bitch is smart.
I mean, she's okay. That beef too. I'm vegan after that one.
She's like, oh girl, wait, All Stars 9, girl.
All right, so obviously these bitches are all phenomenal, the top 4 that we have right now, but there's only one fucking crown. So I'm definitely gonna say, or before I even go, bitch, I want to hear your opinion. Who do you think deserves the crown the most? Like
Sasha.
Through and through outfit, like from Sasha.
I think that from what she gave me something I wasn't expecting. I knew she was gonna bring drag excellence, but like that bitch brought a lot of things. Like I knew she was gonna bring like looks, but she's funny as fuck. She is humble. She's caring. And all of her looks were majority different from another. It's not like she's a gown bitch like Bianca. She like with the spooky look, it was amazing. Like I feel like she's the most eclectic and has the widest range of drag. Where I kind of like that if you see something you wouldn't expect it to be Sasha. I feel like her branding is kind of outward. Where if I see something like, oh, that's Mistress, like with Anetra's eye, with Luxx's fashion stuff, like with Sasha, I kind of like how it's so well rounded. So I feel like she truly encompasses like what it means to be like a full, well-rounded drag queen. Because like if you think about it throughout the season, what did she really stumble on?
Yeah, I think that's a good question you bring up. I don't know. I don't.
She wasn't the bottom, so obviously RuPaul didn't think she stumbled.
Yeah, I don't think she stumbled on anything necessarily. I feel like she took a lot of moments to kind of maybe polish what she's already known how to do, and maybe she didn't challenge with when it came to the challenges in itself.
But I think she did, because even with the drag makeover, she could have really fumbled the bag when she said, oh, let me pad for the first time. I've never padded myself, and I'm also going to make it harder for myself and pad.
Do you really think that was the first time the bitch padded?
Bitch, I'm a Sasha apologist. I'm going to believe what she says. And when I'm thinking about her trajectory, even with the comedy show, it really wasn't a stumble because her partner was fucking up even worse than her. If she would have went by herself, she would have been fine. Because all the one-liners and the zingers that they had that was funny, that RuPaul laughed at, it was from only Sasha. Yeah. It was from Sasha. So I wouldn't even consider her having any stumbles throughout the entire season.
I think she had personal stumbles and places where she was able to grow from, but I don't
think through the competition.
Really the challenge threw her off. And it's similar to what she shares, which we'll touch later on, there in their TikTok interview, and little lunch, whatever the fuck. So yeah, pretty much that bitch is flawless. For me, I think who deserves the crown is it comes down and filters in different ways. So pretty much what the fuck happens is like I know like Luxx is star quality, and I think I can relate a lot with myself when it comes to like that confidence that she pushes out, and she's a fucking like moonshot thinker where she doesn't let nothing fucking like block what the fuck she already has created in her head. Like, how could you lose if I'm already chose? Very much that energy. Mistress, not only just being a Latina queen, but I fucking love the bitch is funny.
Isn't it crazy that she paints like a white woman though? Isn't that kind of guy? I generally feel like when she's like in the blonde hair and like she also paints lighter, like I generally thought that she was a white queen until she said something. Take that as you will.
I mean, there's white passing Latinos, so you know that's no fucking news to us. I don't think she paints like a white girl because if we relate her makeup to what's her face, Marsha, it's completely different.
She's Dominican. Marsha's Dominican.
Sure, bitch.
Sure, Jan.
I don't think maybe from like Dominican. I don't know. The bitch is not from Dominican Republic. I'll tell you that much. Then we have Sasha, who obviously, like as you said, well-rounded. And then Anetra. I think Anetra's a baby drag. Like she's fucking there. She's killing. Like the bitch already has her check from the Las Vegas show.
Bitch, she's on Work the World times 10. She got her ticket the first episode.
Yeah, but I think similar to what Wellington has shared in the past, I think that they're definitely gonna milk her storyline. Now, I don't know. I don't fucking know because Luxx would also be good on All Stars. Mistress.
I think Luxx is literally like. I can see her winning All Stars. I feel like she just needs to grow a little bit more. And I feel like nothing in terms of fashion, because her fashion is amazing. She's the fashion queen of the season. But I feel like she just needs to see, like, I just think she needs a little bit more, like, just drag experience. Because she's a newer queen. Like, she even said that at the first episode. I just like her with, like, more experience, like, touring around the world and, like, meeting fans and, like, kind of, like, dipping her toes into different waters. I feel like generally she could win, like, All Stars. I feel like she's the #1 All Stars winner.
Well, after you put it like that, then I want to say that the crown shall go to the one and only Mistress. No, I'm gonna say Sasha. I think
Irene Dubois.
I think so. You imagine they bring her back, the mirror cracks next week.
I would kind of like look. I was thinking about this because I was rewatching the season today. Like Irene was funny as fuck. Like Irene really like. I feel like we could have had a first out like Robin Fierce or like an Amethyst. I feel like Irene could have given us a little bit more. But again, like you brought fucking a glass of Poland Springs to the biggest stage in the world, and thought it was cute.
Don't even remind me of that shit. Don't even, because that really got me irritated. Fuck was I just about to say about that bitch? Oh, I think that the thing with Irene was she gave cunt way too early, and that's what.
Oh, she was. I was living like she was dragging the girls. She had. I remember I saw something on Instagram. She had 27 confessionals in the first episode. They said, "You're here for one day. We're gonna give you your time
and make it happen." Like I don't fucking blame them. You got to do what you got to do while they had that bitch there. But they gave her the boot real fucking early. And speaking of early, these bitches don't even get a second to fucking talk once they get into the workroom. Ru rings that little bell.
Hello.
Gives them their message and walks down with his sexy motherfucking striped down suit. It was a cute suit, bitch.
Do you think RuPaul's a top or a bottom?
I think RuPaul's mother, bitch. Like, it doesn't matter. If that bitch wants pussy, they getting pussy. Like,
would you bottom for him? For her?
Bitch, I would sit on it and do Wheel of Fortune. Like, just sit on it and then spin me around. And it's like, all over.
I know it's big. I could tell he's a horse cock. I know it, when he be tugging, it'd be a 2-man job.
It's like over the shoulder.
He's like, Raven be like this.
No, that's Evie Oddly. She gotta like bundle that bitch up.
Bitch, the way I would not even hit poppers and just go for it.
Yeah, right, bitch. Your fucking shit will be obliterated. Regardless of the fact, Ru walks in with that sexy suit, and we get right into the weekly challenge where we finally find out what song they're going to be remixing this year. And it's no other song better than the motherfucking jam of Blame It on the Edit.
I'm so hyped because, like, again, like the season ending song is always like what we're jamming to on the car rides to the clubs. Like, that's what we pregame to. Like, that's our gag. So I was like, this shit's already, like, even like last year with I forgot what the one was. The Runway Catwalk, and and then the one with Candy Muse, like the Lucky one, like those shits, like that gets us excited for the summer. Like that really, I feel like is the best part of the season. It's the song you get because it hypes up. So I was already super excited. I was like, this is, especially with the girls that we have this round, like this is gonna be an amazing song. And that song is cunty, so I know this shit's been good. Like I'm excited.
It's a fucking cunty ass song, and it has its motherfucking fair share of history. So I want you to, like, I want to know what you know about Blame It on the Edit, because the way that I knew that it came out, or like the way I connected, I've always thought that it was shade towards Roxy Andrews, because Roxy was like, she came in for All Stars and she's like, I was perceived as a bitch, and like I was so this as a bitch, and bitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, bitch, that's what the fuck you said when the camera was rolling. So I always thought that was Ru kind of giving the girl that, like, a little pat in the mouth, watch what the fuck you saying, bitch, because, you know, we got the footage. But where was the first moment that you heard it, and like, what are you related to, or what queen do you think Ru was shading?
When I think of villain edit, I notoriously go to Fifi O'Hara, who now goes by as Jeremy, because they no longer go by Fifi. I feel like with Jeremy, I feel like that was also a time in Drag Race when like being a villain wasn't like you're not scared to go into season, like you don't fact check yourself, you don't have like a filter, because back then bitches didn't give a fuck. They would just talk their shit and be like, what of it? So I feel like with Fifi, Jeremy, it was good because she would just be cunty as fuck. And like, I feel like when it came back around to the reunion, Jeremy was like kind of playing like backup, like playing like catch up. I was like, no, like I'm actually really sweet. And I feel like, no, bitch, like you don't blame it on the edit, bitch. That was literally you. Because then they go to All Stars trying to bring another narrative. And again, with Jeremy was fucking cunty as fuck, even in All Stars too. Like you come for 2 fan favorites, you're about to be cut up by the fan base in that moment. Like even like Raja O'Hara, I feel like your villain edit can go one or two ways. It's how you go about it. If you notice you have a villain edit, Raja, if you watch her her 3 different seasons, from her first season or other 2, like you can't even relate those 2 people. They're completely 2 different people. So I feel like with the villain edit, half of it I feel like is an edit because the producers gotta make a storyline somehow. They gotta make their monies. Mm-hmm. But it's also like, girl, like you said what you said.
No, I agree.
I say it when I say it.
I think that if you were on a season, you absolutely would be like a villain. But I want to kind of hear from the listeners, and I want you guys to comment. Let us know, who do you think you would be on your season if you ever get cast on Drag Race?
You think I'd be the
Would you be
villain?
a villain, or would you be an angel? You know, a hero.
I guess
the
like a fan
hero.
favorite.
Wait, if it's fan favorite, then yeah, she deserves it. But
Wait, you think I'd be the villain?
oh yeah, I feel like you like, that's why I think you resonate a lot with Lucy.
Because I'm white and I'm a villain. And you're Selena.
No,
And you're Selena,
no.
untalented. When you think of blame it on the edit,
Like RuPaul.
who is your favorite notorious villain from all these seasons?
What do you define as a villain? A bitch who speaks up her mind?
A bitch that was deemed a villain by the fan base. Who could you recollect? Like someone like a Candy Muse. I know that's probably who you're going to because that's your sister. Like a Coco Montrese. Like Fifi,
You
all
don't
that
think Candy was a villain? I don't think Bitch was a villain.
That's the one thing. That's the controversial thing. I don't generally believe Candy was a villain. I think sometimes her approach was different. I feel like, but that doesn't mean like that's just her how she is. Like I feel like generally she was not a villain. I feel like she just spoke it up how she was. I feel like she was a little strategic. She knew that all the other seasons in the past lately have been a little kumbaya. She wanted to stir that shit up, and that's what we live for. That's like
we've been needing it.
That's what we need. That because I don't want to watch these girls fucking curl each other hair. I want them to fuck. I'm waiting for the day there's a disqualification for a physical fight.
I don't think it'll ever come to that because this.
I would gag.
But like, it's like, bitch, you are fucking up the bag. Like we've known since what fucking season that drag is not a contact sport. Like if you really want to scrap. Bitch, scrap when you're done filming, and like we gonna be, like I'm gonna catch you on your show and rah. We gonna what's good. But bitch, once you a Ru girl, like chin up, baby, and like don't let that fucking.
So when Shangela took the drink and threw it at Mimi, if a bitch in a tux threw a drink at you, a big ass bottle of fucking Tito's and whatever, what would you do in that moment?
You want my Patrick Queen answer, the real answer?
I want you to be real in this podcast. That's all we are.
Oh, well, then take notes on how to be real. I'm going to fucking throw the drink right back the fuck at the bitch. Like, what the fuck? Like, unless if you throw a drink at me and production breaks it up, then I'm going to be like, oh.
I would turn RuPaul's Drag Race into Baddies West in under 2 minutes.
Would you now?
Bitch, because I will fight anybody. I'll lose every time, but I would fight anybody in that moment.
You really, real fucking shit. Like, you really gonna sit there and waste your moment, waste your opportunity? Like
it depends on how good I'm doing.
Exactly. I was gonna say, give me the scenario. Like how
if I'm like top high. Oh, bitch, I'm sitting back like this. But if I'm like bottom, low, bottom, bitch, y'all see me on All Stars.
So you're gonna crack under the pressure.
100. I'm gonna crack someone.
You swing that. There's no All Stars, bitch. There's probably like you have Instagram Live and TikTok and call it a day.
That'll be good. Look at the twins. Before RuPaul's Drag Race, they were making a living, so I'll be Gucci.
There you have it. Listen, no bitch will ever have the nerve to throw a fucking drink on me because I'm sickening, and that's it. It is what it is. Regardless of thirsty. I think that the villain that came to mind to answer your question before we move on, what's this bitch? I don't think she was a villain either. I just think she was a bitch, and that's how I perceived it. But Britta, and like no tea, no shade. I just feel like
she was not a bitch. I feel like that was the producers trying to, because that season was very kumbaya. They were like, okay, who has to be the villain? I feel like they sprung it on her, and then that's when what bitch? Who do you think?
What's the bitch? What's the bitch who did her face white and she was all like ghostly and shit?
But she wasn't really a villain. She was just miserable.
What's her name?
Aiden Zane.
Okay,
fake fan.
So when they're all sitting there at that untucked, that bitch, like, I think being an Aggie hoe is when you're like trying to hop on just because other bitches are already speaking up on it. You know what I mean?
Drag name Aggie hoe.
Aggie hoe, because she ends up coming in and she's like, and you sat there and slept while I had to sew my own, and it's like, girl, shut the fuck up.
Like, I don't think that's very villainous. I feel like she's just being miserable.
What?
I think she's just generally a miserable person with bad drag. I don't think that she was actually as the villain. I feel like Britta was the villain, but I don't think it was deserved. I feel like, especially with all the hate.
Gays though, because she does have good drag. She does have good shows. She does have like.
You didn't even know her name. You forgot her name. She can't be that good, girl.
Britta? I said Britta.
Oh, they're saying Aiden.
No, I've said that they bullied Ada Zane.
Oh yeah,
I do think that Britta has. I would say Britta has good drag. I just think, maybe the way that she was perceived, or once again, in the theme of blaming it on the edit, she probably didn't realize like how cunty she was coming off. That's the way I perceived it, and that's my fucking answer. I think that's one of the villains that I'm like, you know, although you really like irked me a little bit, I could still respect your shit.
That bitch had a big ass mouth. Like just a physical mouth. Like that bitch was just she was a
Oh
big
wait.
bitch.
Ooh, but actually Roxy Andrews was really good. I like she definitely was bullying
Oh
her.
no, she was a villain. Like that bitch, except for Serena. Like they were just throwing shots at like. But
That's my favorite.
you know what's kind of gaggy that Jinx was literally in a top four with three people that fucking hated her guts, and she won.
And like now the bitch is like booking motherfucking Doctor Who.
She's on
Literally
fucking Broadway.
like she's doing the thing. And it goes to show like when you're a good fucking person, that shit will follow you and you will get what the fuck you deserve.
Water off a duck's back.
Amen. And speaking of, you know,
Ducks.
speaking of Zuck, kind of reminds me a little bit of Dick, which brings me to our next segment, the motherfucking challenge foreplay. Someone like I'm like losing sight on my right eye, or this is my left. But anyways, we're getting into challenge foreplay, where it's pretty much they figure out the challenge of this week is for them to write their fucking verse and see what the situation is, how they're gonna, you know, fit their verse, where it's gonna be at. We get in there, and first thing that the girls do is pretty much write their shit. And as they're writing their shit, we end up seeing that Luxx is like closes notebook, throws her pen to the side, lays down, and takes a cute little nap. What the fuck are your thoughts on that?
I know people were probably dragging her, but bitch, like she is a product of Drag Race. If you think about it, she's young. She was watching Drag Race as she was growing up. As you could tell, like she fucking has every Drag Race like catchphrase in her repertoire. She says it all day. She came prepared. Like she wrote basic things. Exactly. Like that's the shit you gotta come. Like you gotta come with a snatch game. You gotta come with a reads. You gotta generic reads. You gotta come with a verse. Like I didn't take it as being lazy or being like ungrateful at the time. I took it as that bitch did her homework, and it showed later. Like that bitch was ready to go. Like I would probably, if I was ever going to be on Drag Race, I would do the same. I would come with a generic verse and then pick and choose where it needs to be fit. And I feel like at the end of the day, like I feel like she was more prepared. And bitch, they're under so much pressure. Give the bitch a nap. Give the bitch a nap.
Well, that definitely we see that pressure come in later on. But as they end up fucking finishing their verses, they kind of get a little bit of a tease, a little bit to be like, oh shit, like Luxx might fuck it up for herself when Mistress does her confessional.
Blame it on the edit.
But yeah, but it wasn't that, you know, she was completely fine. We move on to the Tic Tac conversation. I personally, this is like my favorite part of Drag Race because you're getting to see, I think also like Michelle and Rue be a little more
vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable. But they're asking like the questions that they've probably been wanting to ask. Like, you know, if you ever had an office job and then they do like the 30-day or the 60-day like appraisal where they're like, hey, you know, you've worked with us for the last few XYZs. So if it kind of feels that kind of vibe. And I always love the questions that they ask, especially the fact that we get to see, I guess, the queens answer shit that like we probably perceive. The one that really gets me is the one with Luxx. So I'm gonna start off with Luxx. She asks this Luxx, she's like, oh, like growing up, how was your experience? And Luxx shares that her family and her parents were just like supported to what the fuck she wanted to do. And like well, maybe I shouldn't say like any family, but I feel like most families right now, the time we live in, are gonna ask questions and be like, oh, is this what you want to do? And they had their little pushback, but nonetheless, they give her the support. And I feel like to share those stories, just how you said, like she's a product of Drag Race. Like there's kids out there that are seeing that shit and are like, yo, like, I could do this. And even for myself, I have my fair share of experience and relationship on getting into my process of drag, so I can connect with that and be like, damn, like it gives you hope to be like, you know, sometimes you could be supportive, and what that support could do could literally open doors like never before. Like 100%. That's so fucking crazy. Your kid could literally be like, you know, have the cure to cancer, be the next America's Next Drag Superstar, and
same thing.
All you have to do is really fucking support them and fucking give them that confidence to continue to go forward. But from that TikTok conversation, what do you think is one of them that stood out to you or that you resonated with?
I definitely liked, like how you said, how like I feel like each queen that was talking had a different story to tell that could resonate with the different person that's watching. Like with Luxx, like you said, like people who like have a supportive family. That's why I really liked. I just love Anetra's stories throughout the entire season of her family, and I feel like just getting to know her even more was beautiful. And I feel like I don't know, like I just like listening to Anetra talk because I feel like the more that Anetra talks, one, I want her to top me, and two, I generally like to get to know her more. I just feel like, and I like I liked hers more because I liked how Michelle literally confessed that was her favorite lip sync ever of her.
And can we blame her? Can we literally fucking blame her?
Like, bitch, that shit. I was in San Diego watching a little gay bar. The gay bar literally went silent and then started screaming. Like, it's that moment, that's memorable moments of Drag Race. Like, I'll look back at the season and be like, yo, Anetra walked that fucking duck, and then she walked on top of another duck named Marsha. Like,
listen, bitch.
That bitch ate.
She's legendary, and I think that
Don't tell Aja, though. Don't tell Aja that she's walking that duck.
No, I mean, but maybe after they'll do a little video. I hope they do a little video and teach her how to.
They unfollowed each other, so.
They unfollowed each other?
Yeah.
But I thought they whatever, fuck them hoes. Speaking of legendary, I do think that Anetra is gonna have a career that's gonna be long lasting. But for someone so young, like Mistress is a bitch who has a legacy that right now it's literally unforeseeable how big it can be. Because I think not only does she have a dynasty, like a family that is so fucking put together in the drag world, but she also has like that own path and that own like fulfillment for what the fuck she's doing. Like she pulls from what she sees and what she gains, but she takes it and she makes it her own. That I think years after year, it's not something that we're gonna get tired. And I fucking love the bitch. Any bitch that can make me fucking laugh, I think you're fucking amazing. And it's like she does it in this way where it's like she's still cunty, but she's still fucking compassionate. And I think that's just
she's cunty, but not unlikable. Like she's not being a cunt just to be cunt. She's being cunt, but then she also brings it back around where it makes us as viewers enjoy it. And also, like you could tell generally by her shade that she's not a fucking bad person.
No, and I bring that up. I bring that up because I want to see if you have a pen and paper so you can take some notes because I'm sick of your cuntiness. Like you could be a real bitch and be cunty.
If you're sick, get some medicine, bitch, because it will never go away. But another person that I really it really resonated with me was definitely Sasha's. It definitely her talking about her father committing suicide and how that impacted her trajectory for life. It was kind of sad just to see how that really impacted her and her being a trans woman and just her future in life. And again, like you said, these moments we get to really learn more about the queens. It's nice to see that kind of vulnerable emotional side of Sasha, because when I look at her I think of this strong vixen, this goddess, but hearing her break down, even seeing her get emotional. But I got emotional too because it's in that moment we're just listening and we're understanding her life and she's allowing us the privilege of getting a glimpse of her life, especially she doesn't have to she didn't have to say all that, and it just made me fall in love with her even more as a queen just to hear especially to be that strong as a person, because when I look at her, I see strength, I see resilience, and to know that that's all the shit that she's been through in her life, and she still remains super, super resilient and just perseveres through it. That was probably my favorite Tic Tac lunch.
I think you can also tell with that, and I might have to say that's one of my favorites too, because you can see with her that although right now she's not, or at the moment when they recorded that she didn't have that acceptance from her mom, it's she still wants it. And I feel she, if ever having that moment offered to her, she definitely will not regret. She will take it and take in the love. But you speak about vulnerability and kind of struggle, which brings me into the conversation where we get to next, where they start learning the choreography for the music.
And there's a struggle.
And, babe, the struggle was real. We get into the choreography, and I'm sorry to the choreography. I should know his name by now, but it's
he's sexy. He's sexy.
Oh, bitch! He has such nice teeth. I'm I just want to bite him. But no, he comes in. He's giving these bitches 1, 2, 1, 2, left, right, and it's cute, simple choreography. But we see Mistress saying that she's having a little bit of a challenge because the costume is restricted.
Bitch, that bitch is smart as fuck. That bitch knew that she used something as a segue to be oh, I just need to keep that bitch was taking us to, oh, let's do one more time. My outfit's messing me up, just so she has more time to learn. But also I was looking at Anetra was definitely struggling as well, and I kind of learned that she's not a choreographed dancer. She just knows how to pull something off, which is amazing. But looking at it, the choreography wasn't that hard.
Let me see it. Give me a little 8 count real quick.
Tip me and you'll see anything that you want to see.
Getting good drag, and I'll tip you.
When you learn about good drag, let me know.
It's coming. come to my motherfucking show and come.
When you lift that eyeshadow palette up and apply it to your eye, bitch, just know that I made you.
Babes, you made nothing over here.
Oh, so you use Jeffree Star and he's racist. That's nice to know. Again, segueing into other stars.
You know what, bitch? Go ahead, segue, bitch, before I fucking have to segue that ass.
Segue into other.
Miguel Zuarte is the choreographer. That's his name? So he gives them, So he gives them the quick boom, boom, boom. We see her struggling. She says she's struggling because of the costume is a little restricting. But I think later on, we end up seeing that Mistress ends up kind of getting in her head a little bit. I think it was that inner saboteur because, Michelle.
I think my candle's causing a fire. Hold on.
Michelle pretty much ends up saying, hold up, bitch, you're just gonna give it to them like that? Like, you're just gonna give it to them? And she's like, no, I'm just a fat girl who can't dance. So I think she was starting to, like, feel a little bit under the pressure because, let's be real.
This is the first time we've seen her crack, ever.
The closest we've seen her gets a crack, unlike you. But she pretty much was just feeling that pressure. And I think the thing that was on her mind was like, holy shit, like, top four is in here. And I do not know what this is about to, like, switch the game up.
I'm also glad that Michelle was super supportive because, like, if you notice in the beginning of the season, like, if they have an acting challenge, they're kind of like, bitch, get it together. You want to be in the bottom? But Michelle was super supportive when Mistress noticed that she was fucking up and was like, girl, like, you really gonna let these other bitches give it to you? Like, you're really gonna fucking give up the crown like that? And I feel like moments like that kind of, it made me feel good because, like, yo, like, Michelle actually gives a fuck about these queens to see them to succeed. And also, like, that bitch don't want a bad video. They do not want a bad video. They want to make sure that we're cackling in the club. Exactly.
And she said it best. She says, listen, shorty, here at Drag Race, we're going to teach you to the choreography and we are about to shoot. I don't know. To put myself in that situation, realistically, I feel like I can pick up choreography pretty fast.
I think you'd be good at it.
But they really was like, it was, bitch, you blinked and they were already, all right, we're ready to shoot this video. The girls go into different groups. They do the little combo at the end all together, but they start off with Anetra and Luxx. Luxx ends up walking the park.
Done. It's 1, 2, 3, done.
But as she was having her little walk, the duck was struggling. I love it.
The duck was out of the water.
No, she wasn't.
that was duck sauce at Chow Mein down the street. Like, that bitch was struggle, which is so crazy because I feel like they said in the beginning of the season, I feel like, I forgot who said it, like, she's not good with choreography, but she knows how to, like, she's a good freestyler. She's a good, like, that's why she's good in that ballroom scene, because she's good just, like, doing what she does in that moment off the top of her head. When she's giving choreography that's like, kind of, like, trained, I think that's where, like, you see who the true, like, performers are. And then, like, with Luxx got it once, and then you never saw it pan to Luxx being like, oh, okay, that bitch 1 and 2, and she was 1 and 2. Like, that bitch was steady.
Well, another thing with Luxx was while Miguel was teaching Mistress, she was in the back taking those pointers too, which he's like, good job, Luxx. It's like, these bitches, you have to think that camera is always rolling and someone's always watching. You don't know what opportunity you could miss. But nonetheless, we get right into the music video. They shoot their little shots. I definitely think they edited that video to save a lot of these hoes.
Oh, do you genuinely believe it was 2 takes? Like, I'm sorry, no shade, but, like, it was definitely not 2 takes. You think they're really gonna put up some bad shit?
Probably not 2 takes. It probably was like 3 or 4.
100%.
Up, and then boom, these are the ones that matter. But I don't think that was a 1 take Drake, a little 2 boom, and let's go.
But I still can't stop thinking about how fucking sexy Sasha fucking Colby looked. That bitch. Like, the one thing I was clocking was her wig line. If you notice, the darkness underneath the blonde was kind of throwing me off, but it's Sasha. But that bitch...
Man being scared by darkness.
I mean, that's why you're using a Jeffree Star palette. Anyways, Sasha was literally... That bitch was Pamela. Like, just the body, like... And she doesn't pad. That's her ass. Do you think her ass is real? Let's give the tea.
Baby, she's from Hawaii. That ass is real. Hawaii. It's natural. It's juicy. It's fruity. Cause look at that was a mess.
Bretman Rock.
Yeah, I'm like, his ass was juicy as fuck. So bitch,
why was it bad for you? Unpack that.
It's a juicy Hawaiian booty, bitch, and okay. I think it's real. And when I see her, cause I want to go to her fantasy. I don't know if you're buying tickets. It's gonna be April 15th.
You haven't hit me up about it, so how would I know?
Girl, shut the fuck up, bitch. You don't hit nobody up either. Like, you're doing all of this, but when I post up, you don't want to... What's that? Like, get it? Okay. Like, no, bitch. You never want to take the train out here. You never want to fucking drive out here. You never, like, what was good? Like,
my dog, because my dogs come to me when I... Come on.
No, bitch. You're a pussy, and you're scared of entering fucking transit and New York Transit.
I am.
So call the Uber.
Okay.
Exactly. So I will see you there April 15th where Sasha Colby's going to be performing. And we are going to ask her, Shorty, can we see that booty? We'll probably get smacked across the face, or we might also get like a, are you fucking stupid?
Like, I'm a fucking woman. Don't disrespect my fucking body.
I'm going to ask. I'm going to be like, you know, why not? I mean,
so when you're not on season 18 because of that comment, remember that moment.
I'll be on season 19. Try it.
When she's the host.
And I will be absolutely motherfucking happy. But speaking of hosts, we have RuPaul walking the damn stage and letting us know that the girls are going to be giving us for this category Drag Excellence.
Which we expect the fucking moment with this. Like, this is what you packed that you're like, I'm gonna wait for this one. I'm gonna wait for you. Like, this is what like you really get excited for because this is like them at their highest fucking level. And I wasn't disappointed at all.
Okay, well, let's get right into the looks. We are getting into motherfucking wet or regret. So we start off with Anetra. She's serving us a nice blue gown. She switched it up. I want to say that like she gagged me. I'm not gonna hold you. She came out. She had the big hair. She had that blue. And then when they said that she made it herself, that was really when I was like, damn bitch. Not only did you know the right time to give us a gown, it's similar silhouette that we usually see, but it's also like, you know, within the body. Because I think she should have padded more with that dress. I think she should have padded more.
I disagree. I feel like we've never seen her in a gown. She's used to like a onesie or like something cut off by the crotch that's very danceable. But also like first let's start with Anetra. I think this is the best look of the night. I feel like this is drag. This is what drag excellence means. This is what it means to be season fucking 15 drag excellence. I also like that she made it just in case, because as we see later, she pulled it down and it was a fucking ready to go kick and knuck and buck. Like I genuinely think
go kick knuck and buck, bitch.
Like she was ready to just in case. I genuinely believe she looked the best of the night. Like I like how it was different. We're used to seeing her being very like sleek and very like very dancer ready and very like very ready to go. This shit is something so different. I feel like again she could have padded more, but again like it's her last time on the runway possibly. That's not her brand. She doesn't want to fucking pad. Like she still nicked the stomach in and it was cute. I just generally believe this was elevation. When she walked out, I was like, this is a finale. This is a fucking finale.
Definitely was gorgeous. I love the makeup.
It's a wet. I'm fucking wet. This is my favorite wet of the season.
Wet.
Wow.
Like this, I'm soaked. Tsunami
pussy.
Pussy.
Double splash on that one.
Like bitch. Tsunami pussy realness. Like
category is.
Tsunami pussy realness.
Next up, we have my motherfucking favorite wet of this category, and it's Luxx Noir London. She's serving us this beautiful eleganza white dress. I love that. I love the top. I love how it like is that little piece that comes off. You can still see like her nice collarbones, and I adore the fucking hair. I did wish it was a little like the makeup was blended more naturally, but I think she wanted us to kind of get that scalp feeling. But the hair was mad cute. The dress was mad cute, and I think it also represents like just purity and just like so like innocence. Like I fucking loved it. I think she switched it up. I think she's given us a lot of like with the belt look that she gave us for the promo was very skin revealing. And I think this one was more like I could be all the way covered up and still be giving sexy.
Yeah, it's more regal definitely than from her promo. I loved it. I mean, it's not bad. I don't think it's bad at all. Again, when she did come out, I didn't get the same reaction I got from Anetra just because like I feel like it's a white gown and I feel like she sold it amazingly. I feel like her mug I think is stamped. I grew to love her mug in the beginning of the season. I did feel like it was giving just very like okay, she blocked her brows and she made it more pointy and she looks good. But in this moment, I'm like, no, she's fucking gorgeous. And I feel like this outfit gives it what she gave the entire season, which is just confidence and dominance. I feel like she never stumbled really in any of the fashion, in my opinion. I feel like this was her kind of an amazing way to close out her fashion journey throughout the season. I feel like when we think of the season, she's a fashion girl, and I feel like this was a great way to tie it in. Like, okay, I gave you every single silhouette. Now I'm gonna give you just a very classic drag excellence gown, and it's a fucking wet for me. That fucking like she looks fucking good.
Wet. Next up, we have the one and only Sasha Colby.
I loved it. It was definitely different. Again, I mean, I don't love her makeup in this. I'm gonna be real. Like Sasha, either with her makeup is fucking spectacular. Like in the spooky challenge when she had when she was the tree, or even in the music video. This I wasn't crazy. Was it
like the musical?
Yeah, the music video, like the Blame It on the Edit.
Yeah, the look.
I feel like her makeup is stunning, but I feel like the makeup took me out of this. I feel like if she would have just painted more pretty, I feel like she tried to go more avant-garde with having no eyebrows and having like jewel tones as brows. I think that she looks absolutely divine. I feel like she literally looks like what she portrays herself to be as a goddess.
You literally just called her ugly. Like
she makes more money than me in one night than I will ever make in my entire life. So I'll call her whatever I want. I just generally don't think that the makeup. I feel like the makeup was too much, where it took away from the look. I think the makeup took away from the look. I think she looks stellar. Again, amazing look. The only thing that took me out of it, and again, I'm a Sasha apologist. I love everything she does. It was just the makeup for me. It took me out of the fantasy.
Well, I would have to disagree with you. I don't think that the makeup took me away. I feel like if anything, it was the bottom of the dress. I wish it had I wish it just touched the floor. I can see touched the floor. She says in her confessional that her dress was like perfectly touching the floor. I didn't like it.
Blame it on the edit. Blame it on the edit, girl.
Blame it on the motherfucking cameraman too. All them.
Not Sarge.
Lastly, we get into the gorgeous.
Wait, you wet it? You wet Sasha?
Bitch. It's definitely a wet.
It's definitely wet.
Wet. And now, we're going to go to the one and the last one, which is our girl, Mistress Isabelle Brooks. What you think?
Again, like, my thing is, like, again, mug is stamped. I feel like I would like it. I would like to see different hair because, again, we saw this wig before. So I feel like when you look at the other girls, it's a piece. Every piece you haven't seen hit that runway yet. With her, and she's had that trajectory where like she's wore the same blonde wig a few times. She's like, and even with this hair, I'm not a big fan of the loaf hair of like when the queens spray the hairline and then put a loaf so it looks like it goes in. Eureka's very notorious for doing it, like old school pageant. So I get the reference. Mm-hmm. I like the meaning behind the dress. That was the first time that she felt beautiful winning the pageant. Again, beautiful gowns. I mean, I'm not going to regret it because I'm not going to regret any Drag Excellence finale looks. But out of all them, it was at least interesting for me. And it was honestly, it was the most generic. It was a gown. Okay.
I had to
put her next to Luxx.
And hold on, bitch. Let me get my motherfucking thought out. I will say yes, I agree with you. When she turned the corner, I was a little bit like, damn, bitch. And more off of the color. I was just like, you wore yellow about 2 weeks ago. Like, why would you do this again? And not that you can only wear a color once. It just was very similar, where it was a big gown for the gloves, and then this one was like a long, big gown. The difference with this one that gagged me is that it's beaded, and also beaded in fucking cheetah print, bitch. I don't think I even own anything cheetah print, let alone fucking beaded, let alone beaded as cheetah print. That's fucking cunt. I do think that, like, like, it was like this, oh my God, like, I won my first pageant, I was beautiful, Razi, rah. Beautiful.
Not the Razi,
beautiful gowns. I just fucking think that maybe we could have seen something different on the runway.
I agree.
Compared to what was on the stage, it did kind of throw me off a bit. But it's still a wet. I'm gonna still give it.
It's a wet, but I just generally feel like
wet.
It might be you'll be swimming in it because you're so thin. But I feel like
I have a big juicy ass and I'm padding.
That part. Do you know Monet Exchange doesn't pad? How fierce is that?
The ass is fat. She eats a yam.
If it's real, it's real. Clock the real. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a wet. Again, I feel like out of my favorite looks from this, I'm gonna just say you already know it's Anetra. When you have Anetra standing next to Mistress, she blows that bitch out of the water. Anetra looks like a royal queen of like that looks very all-star to me already. Like it looks very like you would see that shit on like an all-stars winter season. Like that looks like very much like something Trinity the Tuck would wear. And the fact that she made that shit herself.
Yeah, that is really nice. That like
bitch, I can't even draw a circle and make it like look like a circle. Like that bitch. Like that bitch.
Damn, you like that much talent?
Bitch, I'm just I'm cun.
Okay.
Charisma, uniqueness, and nerve.
We knew that, girl. Anyways, all top 4 get...
You're
No, I'm hung. So we have all the top 4. They get they wet.
Let me find out. Wait, for the viewers, real quick, can you give your sexy DL trade voice real quick? Because they've been dying to hear it again.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Like, what you mean, a DL voice? Like, I've always been DL. Like, okay. So, as I'm sitting here, we give all 4 queens motherfucking big old wet splash, splash, splash. And it takes us all the way over to the motherfucking Queen's Court, where the queens finally stand in front of motherfucking RuPaul, Michelle, and
the hilarious Ross Matthews, which, I'm sorry, he's never been hilarious to me.
You really don't think he's funny?
I just hate how he talks like, do you know what, Edward, do you know when you go to the store and you find bananas, and, you know, the bananas, one of them's not ripe. Okay. It's kind of like how, I feel like this banana's like your dress. He talks in fucking similes and metaphors, and they never sound good. I feel like, refresh the fucking judging panel. Refresh. Keep Michelle. Make T.S. Madison a permanent motherfucking guest. Make that bitch, give her a permanent seat, and add someone else. 'Cause I'm sorry, Carson can't dress for shit, and he's a fucking fashion expert, and Ross is never funny. Take that seat. Like Selena said, Ross is a faggot.
Well, nonetheless,
I'll never be on All Stars.
We're clipping that, and we're saying that Kevin said it. So I think we're sitting here with the Queen's Court. We have Michelle, we have Ross, the hilarious Ross Matthew, in my opinion. And pretty much we end up finding out that our girl Sasha takes home another motherfucking win.
I don't like how they have winners of the last episode. I'm going to keep it real. I feel like it should just kind of be like, you're advancing. I feel like winning, I don't know.
Well, I think for the sake of like teasing us, which brings us into that point, we were told and under the impression that we are eliminating someone today. Ru made a promise to himself that he is going to eliminate a bitch. And I will have to say, that motherfucker, he really did not. He didn't eliminate, like, he didn't save a single bitch. Like,
which I love, because last season was fucking, that shit went from 2 Pride seasons. Like, that shit was back to back. Like, I genuinely, did you believe actually that he was going to keep all 3? Like he was going to only keep 3 of them? Be real.
I think I was very much under the impression of like, yeah, he's sending a bitch packing. And that brings me to this question. If he did send a queen packing...
Luxx.
All right, log the fuck off. Log the fuck off right now. You really are just fucking chatting.
So who would you say? You say Mistress.
Bitch, Anetra. Anetra was going home. Like, Anetra was going home, babes. You really think that Luxx was going to go home after... First of all... Run it the fuck back right now, because we didn't even talk about the motherfucking music video. Let's get into that. Let's really get into that. They come out and we watch the music video, right? We're hit with Anetra's verse. What are your thoughts on her verse?
Well, all the queens, I feel like their verses were very short this year. I feel like it was like 1 and 2, 1 and 2. I feel like it's gonna be like every year they're gonna have to grow on me. I feel like Anetra's was okay. I mean, it was very like.
What was your favorite verse? Or
Luxx.
the one that stood out to you?
Luxx.
And you think she would have gone home?
Comparative to the other queens, absolutely. I think she's not at the same level as them.
So you think that the challenge they just did in this episode, she did the best when it came to writing her verse. You said she did the best in picking up the choreography. Yet you think that she should have gone home?
I think she won the challenge, in my opinion, but I don't think that she deserves a spot in the top 3. I feel like comparatively speaking, I think that the other 3 queens I look at, like Mistress, Sasha, and Anetra, I feel like they got it. I feel like Luxx is an All-Stars winner. She gives me like she's gonna win I can see her on like a UK versus the world and fucking killing it. I just generally don't believe that she's ready for the crown yet than the other 3.
And you think Anetra is?
The 3 challenge wins say so. RuPaul saying that
we'll have to see how the
RuPaul didn't call.
Regardless of the fact, the way that the cookie crumbles this week is Sasha wins another win, and she ends up being the top of the week. We have Luxx being the safe queen, meaning that she was second runner-up in this challenge. Therefore, safe. She was a high safe. And then we have...
you sound like these bitches being...
And then we have your girl, Anetra, and my badass bitch. I mean, I love both of them. And no matter the way that this would have gone down, it was still going to be iconic. But we have Mistress and Anetra, who have
I thought it was going to be Mistress going home, low-key.
Yeah, because I could have thought that too because of the fact of the way that they edited her struggling with the choreography, similar to how she struggled with choreography for the musical, and then the way that she was handling that pressure, like being under that
And the
pressure.
lip sync, like speaking about the lip sync, like it was When Love Takes Over by David Guetta and Kelly Rowland. Again, a really odd song to close out the season, I think. But I feel like I know, but I love a ballad for the last because I feel like how the ballad kind of ends the season. Like I love when Canada's Drag Race always does a Celine song for the finale. I think Anetra ate her up, and I was kind of nervous because, like, I mean, like, obviously I know what the fuck's going on. I was like, yo, like Mistress again. Comparatively speaking, 3 wins, 1 win.
Yeah, but then you just said right now, prior to me saying Luxx was a high safe, you said you sound like one of those bitches and that. Hold the fuck up. You said, oh, you sound like one of those queens and yada 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 yada. But now you're using that same argument to defend this bitch and saying, oh, well, she has 3 wins and she only has 1.
Okay, so then it should be Luxx, Sasha, and Anetra.
Luxx, Sasha, and Mistress.
Bitch, you hate Anetra so much, and
I
it's
do
coming
not
through
hate
your teeth.
Anetra. I just think that she has potential in All Stars. Like I think that let's keep it a buck, right?
Your buck's not my buck, so don't speak about bucks.
Because you don't have any bucks, bitch. You have to have bucks to fucking swing with the big bitches over here. Okay.
And you are a very, very big bitch.
I'll take it. A big juicy bitch. But nonetheless, that's my motherfucking opinion over here. That's what I'm thinking. That's my opinion. I think that Anetra would have gone home, but luckily we end up finding out that they all have a golden ticket. It's not chocolate.
Girl, I was
sounded like a gunshot, bitch.
You were in New York?
It's the city. What do you think?
I mean, before knowing spoilers, I know it's gonna be a top 4 because like they haven't done a top 3 since I believe literally like Bianca's season. So I had a feeling that there hasn't been any double Shantae's. I feel like I feel like I can't picture them going to the finale without this top 4. I feel like this is probably one of the strongest top 4s ever.
Well, I was super happy when I found out that it was the double Shantae.
No, you weren't, bitch. You wanted Anetra to go home. You fucking lying.
No, it's not like I was like fucking sitting here with her voodoo doll and like poking at it. Like I was happy, but when I
would suck its dick if I had his voodoo doll. I'd be sucking that shit.
Look at you fucking speechless, bitch. You couldn't even like have that imagination in your head.
Like.
So before we do wrap this up, we want to hear from the listeners, and I also want to hear from you. Pretty much, what queen do you think? I mean, even though we've kind of said this top 4 is amazing, what queen isn't here in the top 4 that you think should be there?
I think I'm good. I generally feel like this top 4 is the top 4. I feel like even like before knowing anything, you could tell like literally once they walk in, like. Those are the top 4 of the season.
And then in that case, since you think this is like, and I agree with you, that this is the perfect top 4, comparing the top 4 or the top 5 from season 14 and comparing the top 4 from season 15, let's say like, who do you think, what do we think, who's the best group? Who has
I genuinely believe that it's season 15. I feel like this is one of the best seasons we've had in a while. I feel like I'm not a big fan of the last season. I feel like, I don't know, there's no queens I really connected with like this season, but I feel like, you know, this is the season to be. I feel like it's going to be hard for next season for season 16.
Oof. Well, that is the tea. Now you decide the shade. You just heard another episode of The Tuck. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe with us. And please, guys, make sure to comment below. Let us know what you think because I want to hear these opinions.
Are you team Sasha? Team Luxx, the only team that matters, Team Anetra, or Team Mistress Isabelle Brooks, or Team Serena Cha-Cha?
I'm Team Serena Cha-Cha in that.
Bitch, you are Serena Cha-Cha.
Well, bitch, you're Serena Cha-Cha because you're the one who doesn't come over here. You don't know how to have no good time. Bitch wants to remain local. So,
Bar queen.
Come out here, turn up, let's support these local drag queens and also support me. Thank you. I'm Edward, this is Kevin, and that has been a wrap.